Have you ever wondered what it's like to live your life where everything is a lie? This topic should be important to you because it shows how proxies can take advantage. Gypsy Rose Blanchard was a victim of her mother's mental illness. Dee Dee Blanchard claimed that her daughter Gypsy was full of illnesses, only to get herself killed in the end. Gypsy lived every day in a wheelchair, with no hair, with hearing aids, and on multiple medications, due to her mother having a mental illness called Munchausen syndrome by proxy. This illness led her to lie about Gypsy's illnesses in order to receive attention and sympathy for being a caregiver to her sick daughter. Dee Dee led everyone to believe that her daughter Gypsy was full of illnesses. She made her live in a wheelchair when she could walk, use a feeding tube when she could eat, and even cut her hair to make it look like she had leukemia. Dee Dee went as far as moving away to avoid getting caught in her lies, and later Gypsy killed her mom. To begin, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was born July 27, 1991. Dee Dee first claimed that Gypsy had sleep apnea, and when she was 8 years old, she was suffering from leukemia and had muscular dystrophy, and was forced to sit in a wheelchair and use a feeding tube. Gypsy was only a baby when her mother started making false accusations to doctors, neighbors, friends, and family about Gypsy's medical problems. The problems kept going. They included asthma, hearing and vision problems, and seizures. All of these problems were made up by Dee Dee, who had a mental illness called Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which I stated earlier makes her fake illnesses so she can receive attention and sympathy. Then, when taken to the doctor to get medicine for Gypsy's made-up illnesses, there were inconclusive or opposite test results, but Dee Dee would simply just stop seeing the doctors who disagreed or second-guessed her. Dee Dee had some nurse's training, so she could describe symptoms and even went as far as giving Gypsy medications that mimicked and induced certain illnesses. Gypsy was never allowed to talk during her appointments, in fear that she would tell the doctors about Dee Dee or tell them how she's really feeling. When family members started asking questions and noticing that Gypsy didn't need to be in a wheelchair, Dee Dee just simply packed everything up and moved away to Springfield, Missouri. Gypsy was 14 years old when she saw a neurologist in Springfield, Missouri, who believed that she was a victim of MSP, though he never reported it. He later claimed that there wasn't enough evidence. Dee Dee even lied about Gypsy's age, and went as far as changing her birthday on her birth certificate to always make her a minor. Gypsy knew it was wrong, and she had to make it stop. Thus leading up to 2011. Gypsy tried to get away from Dee Dee by running away with a guy who she met at a science convention. But Dee Dee tracked them down due to mutual friends. Dee Dee told the guy that Gypsy was a minor, but Gypsy was actually 19 years old at the time. Dee Dee smashed Gypsy's computer and restrained her to her bed. Oftentimes when Gypsy got in trouble, Dee Dee would restrict her of food. Finally, Gypsy found her way back online, to a Christian dating site, and that's where she met Nicholas Godejohn. Gypsy and Nicholas started talking in 2012, and they talked for 3 years. Gypsy told him all about what Dee Dee did to her, and ended up asking Nicholas to kill her so they could be together. Nicholas said it was love at first sight. He just instantly connected with her. In 2015, Nicholas came to Gypsy's house and stabbed Dee Dee 17 times. Authorities said he nearly decapitated her. Officials and family members found the body from a status she posted on Facebook, which her and her mom shared. The status stated, "That bitch is dead." In a November 15, 2018 Washington Post article by Kyle Swinson, it states that Nicholas said Gypsy forced him to do it. She stuck the knife and gloves in his hand and said it was the only way they could be together. Gypsy stayed in the bathroom the entire time, with her ears covered. November 15, 2017, Gypsy had an interview with Dr. Phil. He asked if she was glad her mother was dead, in which she replied, "I'm glad I'm out of that situation, but I'm not happy that she's dead." In conclusion, Gypsy is serving 10 years for second-degree murder, and Nicholas a life sentence for first-degree murder of Dee Dee Blanchard, as stated on a post from Springfield Newsletter on November 13, 2018. Gypsy Rose Blanchard lived every day in a lie, due to her mother's mental illness, MSP, which led her to make things up about her daughter in order to receive attention and sympathy. Dee Dee led everyone to believe that Gypsy was full of illnesses. She made her live in a wheelchair when she could walk. She made her use a feeding tube when she could eat, and even cut her hair to fake leukemia. Nicholas ended Gypsy's suffering, but it didn't get them as far as they had hoped.